Today we have a new product to take a look at from GravaStar. Look at Tora. Even he is curious, waking up from his nap. Hello, buddy. So yeah, we have a new product from GravaStar. It is a Hall Effect keyboard. And I'm sure we've seen so many of these already. Hall Effect keyboards, nothing new. But this one is a little bit interesting because it's kind of uniquely designed. In the past, I have reviewed one of GravaStar's speakers. They have this sort of sci-fi theme going on with their products, and their speaker was really unique. And this is no different. This is a very unique looking Hall Effect keyboard. I can tell already it is very hefty. Of course, rapid trigger and customizable actuation because it is Hall Effect. And 8,000 hertz polling rate. You guys know how I feel about 8,000 hertz polling rate on keyboards. I think it's very useless. Really just a marketing gimmick. You're not going to notice 8,000 versus 1,000 hertz, especially on a keyboard. But on paper, it is the fastest latency that you will get. So let's get this thing open. We're going to whip out our handy little keychain knife. I have been using this a lot more than I expected. I'll have this linked on my Amazon storefront in the description if you want to pick one up for yourself. But yeah, look at that. It's just a little knife that goes on your keychain. Very cool. It has come in handy quite often, including now. Look at Tora, man. Woke him up from his nap. Even he's curious about the keyboard. Also, guys, if you do want to check this keyboard out, I'll leave my affiliate link in the description below. Look at that. This is what the packaging looks like. They have a bunch of different colorways of this board. This one, I believe, is the neon. Look at that. There's the expanded view. You have a carbon plate, some foam, dampening pad. Very cool. That is very tight. I don't know why I'm not doing this on the table. That'd probably be a lot easier. Very nice packaging so far. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Hall Effect keyboards at this point, basically it lets you customize the actuation point of every switch, and you have rapid triggers so that when you lift your finger off of a key, it immediately registers that action. You can set the customizable rapid trigger as well. And Hall Effects are pretty much standard nowadays for competitive gaming especially, because it does give you a noticeable advantage in game. Okay, so in the box, obviously you get the board itself. Look at that. Like I said, very unique looking board. This looks insane. Definitely a statement piece on the desk. Look at that. Here's the side. On the top here, USB-C. You also have two switches to switch between Windows and Mac OS, as well as, I don't know what this is, probably a rapid trigger switch. We can confirm that later. But yeah, look at the legs too. You can see there. There's really only two adjustment points. You can either flip it out or have it in. Let's take a look at it here. That's with it in. Flip the feet out. So you can either get a flatter typing experience with the feet flipped out, or if you have it flipped in, you get more of an angled typing experience. Just changes the typing angle there, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's take a look at the bottom. 4 rubber feet, 1 on each corner, pretty typical, and that's the board. Let's see what else we get in the box here. So you have a cleaning brush, it looks like. Right there. Cleaning brush. Some extra switches, it looks like. You get 4 of these. So inside of this board are the Gateron Jade gaming switches. And these are the specs of the Jade gaming switches in case you're curious. And then you also get a keycap and switch puller 2-in-1, which is pretty standard nowadays. And also a box which most likely has the USB-C cable. Yeah. Little documentation user manual here. Let me go find out what that switch is. So it's the rapid trigger gaming / office toggle. So you can switch modes really quick depending on what you're using the board for. You have all of these shortcut keys here for lighting and everything. There's our other languages. Okay, cool. Here is the USB-C cable, not braided, which is a little bit disappointing. It is just a full rubber cable, USB-A to USB-C. I would have liked to see this cable braided. The fact that it's just a regular rubber cable is a little bit disappointing. And then you also get a microfiber cloth. So back to the board here. This is an aluminum body and it is gasket mounted. So very hefty board in the hands, feels very premium. On the top right here, you have a volume knob, as you can see, and it's not your typical volume knob. This is actually more of a clicky tactile one, as you can hear. You can push down to mute, it seems like, push up and push down, but it's not your typical volume knob where you can roll it. And yeah, that's what it looks like right there. Very nice looking board. Definitely very unique. It's definitely a hate it or love it sort of thing. Let's get this plugged in so that we can take a look at the software and everything else. We're gonna unplug our little Wooting here. Get this out of here. Plug this in. Ooh, look at that RGB. Oh my God, look at that. So yeah, the keycaps here, the sides are translucent, so it lets a lot of those LEDs shine through, which gives it a pretty cool look. Oh, I didn't even notice. You have a little LED screen right here above the right arrow key. I'm not going to peel this off right now, but there's a little LED screen here. Okay, before we get into the software, let's do a quick sound test. Not bad, not bad. This keyboard is going to retail for $260 USD, so pretty high pricing here for a Hall effect keyboard. But the main selling point of this board is going to be obviously the very unique design and aesthetic of the board. If you want just a regular Hall effect gaming keyboard, there's obviously a lot of different options out there, a lot of them coming in at a lot cheaper of a price point. But the main selling point of this specific board is going to be the aesthetics. And the keycap material here is PBT, and it feels very nice to the touch. It has sort of that chalky feeling that most PBT keycaps have, which can help you get a better grip. But yeah, let's actually take a look at the software. It is web-based software, which is very nice. So here is the web-based software. I think it is still pretty early stages, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna see if there's any firmware updates here. That just turned off all of the LEDs on the keyboard. Looks like it is updating properly, so that's cool. But yeah, it is web-based software, which is very nice to see. You know, I'm a huge fan of web-based software. Just makes it so you don't have to download anything else onto your computer. And I am a huge fan of when companies do web-based software. I think that's definitely the trend that the industry is going in right now. So up here, you can choose different profiles. Seems like up to 4. Looks like they have different presets, only 2 so far. I don't know what fearless contract assumption is, but we're just going to leave that alone. Let's go over to the performance settings, actuation point. This is Chinese, so I can't read that, but I'm assuming it's telling me to select some keys before I can change it. I'm going to just set all of the key actuations at 1mm. Let's turn on rapid trigger here. Put this on. Wow, it looks like it goes all the way down to 0.005. Which is extremely sensitive, maybe too sensitive. I'm gonna put this on 0.1. Can I type it in? Oh, you can. Wait, can you? It's a little finicky. It's a little finicky, but you definitely can type it in. That looks good. And then you can get a visualization here. I'm not sure why you would want to turn this on and off. It makes sense just to have this on the whole time, but interesting choice. So you can see when we're pressing down. Oh, there's a little bit of a dead zone on the bottom. That's probably like the buffer that they put in. Wonder if you can change that. And then if you let go, it turns yellow. So you can see here, I'm like barely letting go and then it turns yellow. So yeah, you can see since I set it at 1mm, it's yellow all the way until I reached 1mm and then it turns blue. So it seems to be working very well. So that's cool. It auto saves, it looks like, so you don't have to press save or anything. Let's go over to advanced settings. Let's see what's here. So this is where you change the dead zone. So yeah, you can change the dead zone here if you want. You can also change the polling rate here. Apparently the keyboard will do automatic calibration, so I'm just gonna leave it be. Seems like everything's working anyways. And then here we have the RGB settings. You can see there's a bunch of different effects you can choose from. Bunch of different effects here. Oh, this one's nice. If you like RGB, oh, it's not even at full brightness. Wait, let me see what full brightness looks like. Yeah, the RGBs do get pretty bright. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but if you're a fan of RGB, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Bunch of different effects here that you can choose from. You can also change the side light. So the light strip on the bottom here you can change. Let's try laser light. What is that? Oh, wow, look at that. So yeah, a lot of different effects to choose from. That's the RGB settings. Down here on custom keys, we can remap keys, just your typical remapping. And then you can do different function layers as well. That's nice. So yeah, you can change what the function layers do. Doesn't look like there's a way right now to record macros. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a macro recording function in here. So no macros right now, at least. And then finally, under advanced key, you have your SOCD, which is equivalent to Razer's Snap Tap. Very typical now. Most Hall effect keyboards come with SOCD support. And you have all of your other features that you would expect from Hall effect, like your dynamic keystroke and your multi-tap. So yeah, the software is pretty solid. It supports all the features you want. And the board itself is very solid also. No complaints about the performance at all. You could see in the visualization there that it's very accurate. Let's test out this volume knob. Yeah, I mean, it works. If I hold it down, yeah, that works too. And that is pretty much it, guys. That is the GravaStar Mercury V75 Pro. If you guys are interested in checking this out, I will leave all of the relevant links in the description below. But yeah, pretty expensive Hall effect keyboard. If you are looking for a premium Hall effect keyboard experience and you're on a budget, there's definitely other options out there on the market that are a lot cheaper than this. However, this is a very unique keyboard in terms of the aesthetics. So if you don't really care about the price and you more so want sort of like a showpiece keyboard to keep in your office or just to have, then this definitely fits in that category. But yeah, guys, in terms of the performance of the board, really nothing to complain about. And the feel, of course, is also very premium. And the aesthetics is personal preference, as always. So that's pretty much it, guys. That was my look at the Mercury V75 Pro. All of the relevant links will be in the description below if you want to check out this keyboard. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, make sure you leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.